Hi, my name is Kyron, and this is a tutorial video for how to use the RC-505 Mark II looping station. I've found this station to be extremely helpful in my own creation of my own music, as well as if you don't have a band to practice with, you can practice staying in time with a group using this station to create your own full songs that you can play along with. So this is what a finalized product of using this equipment might sound like, and I'll just press. So that's one example of what you could make using this equipment. I tend to find it most helpful in just the freedom it gives for you to explore certain ideas. There's a lot of editing features for different tracks you lay down, as well as other features that allow you to incorporate other instruments into a track, which can help you expand your instrument repertoire. So to break down that song a little further, basically I started with a metronome, which I can start and stop with this button right here. So the first thing that I incorporated into this song was a bit of guitar here with a pretty simple chord progression, and I'm using this dial right here to turn up the volume on individual tracks. So that's the guitar piece that I laid down. The next piece that I incorporated was a bass line to that guitar track, and I'm going to turn off the metronome now as it detracts from the overall sound a bit. So this was the bass line that I decided, and together they sound like. The next piece was a bit of percussion here. The final piece I included was a bit more percussion. So to hear the percussion isolated, this is what we're left with. It's pretty simple, but it gets the job done. And then the rest of it. So you might notice that as you're listening to this track, the percussion seems fairly rudimentary, but that's because I ended up learning how to play drums just so that I could loop it over my guitar pieces. I'm normally a guitar player, but I found that this equipment has encouraged me, or I've been using it to learn drums in the first place. I've never played before, and I figured that I needed more percussion skills to be able to make better tracks. So I decided to learn drums simply to be able to play with this machine a little bit better. So this is my setup. This is the mixing board, and this is the loop station. Basically, the mixing board is in sequence with the loop station, and it comes before the loop station. So everything that I have connected in here eventually gets transmitted to the looping station. So the very basics are the power cable for each. So this is the power direct current in, and this is the power for the mixing station, and I have them running down to this power strip down here. So the next portion is the audio jacks that run into the mixing board. The first channel I have here is my guitar and bass that I will switch out whenever they're needed. The second channel is my drums, and the third channel is my microphone. So the next aspect is how it gets from the mixing board to the looping station. And so these two cords right here are my left and right outputs from the mixing station. This being the right output and this being the left channel output. And they correspondingly connect into the left and right inputs for the mixing board. So the third aspect is how does it get from the looping station into my amp, which is that amp back there in the corner, the PV amp. So this is the output, and it's just a mono channel that combines the left and right inputs here into a single output back to the amp. So this cord runs to the amp and connects in right here. So once you feel comfortable that all your jacks are in the right places, you'll want to turn these on. So first of all, the power switch for the mixing table is right here, and it will start to boot up. And the power for the looping station is a little push button right here. And it takes a while to boot up. Gonna give him nausea with this camera work. Okay, so just some basics of how each machine works. I know it can look intimidating at first, but really once you get into it, it becomes simple. So if you look over here, everything within this blue line and all these knobs just control this one line. So there's general volume knobs here. This is a gain knob. And then if you're just starting off, you really don't have to mess with the mixing knobs as much. One controls the high end frequencies. This one controls mid-level frequencies, and this one controls low frequencies. And to begin with, you can kind of keep them all even. Another aspect of this board is it has different effects that you can put on your instruments. And it has a little library here of all the different effects you can choose, and you can switch them with this knob. And then press down when you want to apply an effect. And then this will control the level of the effect you want to use. And then this knob here can control the parameter. Let's say you have a, let's say you're using a certain reverb effect. You can control the level of reverb that you want on that effect. And then going over to the looping station here, so we have separate tracks that you can start and stop playing with. So this one, so these are all individual tracks, and you have 5 tracks that you can work with. So you can start a loop by pressing 1, and now that's recording. And you can press it again when you want to stop, and now that's looping that recording. And I'm going to press and hold this button to delete that track. Or if you start a track and then stop it, and now that it's recorded, you can just start here, or I mean stop here, and then start the track again here. And I'll stop that. And this is a volume knob for each individual track that you can use to control the level that you want on each track. All right, so just to demonstrate what I've shown so far with how the buttons work and how you could start a loop. I don't currently have a pedal to start and stop, so I tend to use my feet to start and stop looping. And I'll just give a quick demonstration of the process that I go through to start a loop. This is just whatever I'll come up with here, so we'll see. So basically, whenever I start a song, I want to get a general tempo that I can use. So you can use this button right here, which is the tap tempo. Just to sort of get a feel for the song, and it'll correspondingly display what tempo you're tapping up here. So just to get a little beat here. And so if you look back at the screen, it'll say tempo 110. And then to start that tempo, I can just hit this start and stop on the rhythm button. And so then I can play along with that. It's a little slow. I'm going to speed it up. Got up to like 117 for the tempo there. So that's my guitar track looped. So I can switch to a different instrument. For example, I'll go with the bass. So first things first, I'm going to turn down this volume. Since I don't have enough channels to fit a bass on, I have to switch between guitar and bass. So I'll turn this down. As you can hear, it's not perfect with the tempo, but the more tracks and instruments you add, the better it tends to sound. So I'll add a bass line to this one. Gotta turn my volume back up. Typically, I would just add percussion to that to get a fuller sound. basically how you would go about making a loop. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it useful and maybe learned a thing or two. I'm putting all the details of the equipment I used in the description below. And I wish you all good luck in your musical adventures.